I'm recording during the day. It's mental, I know. Samsung's Galaxy S4 is a phone that I really like for many reasons. It has a stunning 1080p AMOLED display that is so customizable. And now I have one more reason to really like it. Hey guys, my name is Ryan Thomas with Failtech, and this is the ROM AOKP on the Galaxy S4. Is it worth installing? Let's find out. The version of the ROM I'm reviewing is AOKP on 7.1.2 on the Galaxy S4 I9505 UK version, and I downloaded and installed this recently, so it should be alright for you to download as well. It's a fairly recent release. It's not quite yesterday's release, but it's been a week or so. Let's start by talking about that elephant in the room, and that is that really awesome logo and boot up screen. Seriously, I wish every boot up screen on every device ever, whether that's a desktop or something like a phone, I wish it all had this kind of boot up screen, because I love the unicorn, I love the gear that's spinning, I just think it's fantastic. I don't know why I like it so much, because it is fairly gimmicky and I'm fairly childish, but this combination just makes it a fantastic device to use. And whenever I turn the phone on, I get asked questions like, why has that phone got a unicorn on it? The GUI of AOKP is very similar to stock Android, but with a few extra things hidden here and there as stock that you can edit and change as you please. I personally really like the little touches, such as running services up in the quick settings mode, almost like a task manager, shortcut to AOKP specific settings in the app drawer like its own separate app, and the notification fling settings instead of using buttons. Kind of like what Oreo allows you to do with the gestures, although I didn't find these to be very intuitive, but we'll talk about that a bit later. And you get the cool logo down the bottom again. I found performance in applications, whether they be first party or third party, to be very good and much improved with this version of Android versus the original stock software. It's smooth and fluid, and of course there was some stuttering here and there, but really nothing like it wouldn't have anyway. And of course we're really pushing the device, like switching apps super quickly and unrealistically, but no crashes even in games or higher end tasks. Like there wasn't a crash, maybe some stutters. Of course you get all the great multitasking features that are part of Nougat, which you would otherwise get anyway. My personal favourite, and it's very overlooked actually, is where you can double tap the recents button and it takes you to the most recent app. I really find this useful for copy and pasting text from one app to another, just like maybe researching a video, for example. And again, you don't need AOKP for this, it's just something cool to have on a newer version of Android. The Snapdragon 600 equipped device was never going to be pixel speed with any software, but AOKP's lineage base makes the device run a lot faster than stock, even though theoretically you'd need more horsepower to drive newer software. It's confusing, but I think it just shows as a testament really to how bad TouchWiz was back maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and how far it's come with the likes of Samsung's experience. AOKP offers a plethora of customization features, ranging from gimmicky to game-changing. To start with, we've got the aforementioned fling navigation method that allows these weirdo gestures that I don't personally like, but I suppose are quite useful. And then we also have the dynamic changing color for said navbar to match the on-screen theme, such as like an app or in-game color. Graphic EQ on that navbar for your music. God, these guys actually really like the navbar for some reason. You can also customize what hardware buttons are used for long presses, double presses, quick presses, stuff like that for, let's say, the volume rocker or even the power button. And you can also customize the app drawer, the launcher, the screen, the notification shade, power menu, status bar, and the list honestly just goes on, and it's fantastic. It's such a big feature set for a ROM like this. My favorite customization features are the status bar customizations, which is up at the top. I really like being able to move stuff around, delete some stuff, add some stuff, change, like for example, you could have for the battery notification, you could have like the battery number and the logo, or just the logo, or just the number, or get rid of it altogether. Very, very flexible. And oddly enough, there's this thing called power customization, where it takes the power menu when you hold down the right lock button, and it gives you a bunch of different settings. So usually I might have restart, flight mode, and power off. But in this, you can just add stuff like screenshots, screen recording, all these different things that are really useful that you would usually have to go into other settings or other menus for. You just hold down the power button and it's right there in front of you. Fantastic use of space. I love it. And of course, you can install launchers, icon packs, and those kinds of things to your heart's content and really customize this phone, but those things aren't really AOKP specific. This video is brought to you by the official Wondershare YouTube channel for PDF Element. With detailed tutorials in heaps of different languages, it is the best tool to help you max out those PDF skills. Link in the video description. Battery life is, as always, very important on a smartphone, especially on older smartphones where the batteries tend to be deteriorated. Thankfully, the S4 has a battery you can replace very easily, and they're only like £5 or £6, which does make a difference, but this ROM also makes a big impact in how the battery performs. Now, this might not be the biggest battery in the world, but the way this software is optimized, as it's using Lineage as its base, is fantastic. It cuts out a lot of background bloat that you would usually see on Samsung's stock software, especially in the olden days. And even with the Snapdragon 600, this thing lasted me all day, not a problem. Although it is worth mentioning that I didn't really push the phone too much. You know, I wasn't running synthetic benchmarks all day, every day. I was just kind of using it as I usually would use a phone. In terms of software updates, unfortunately, I'm an idiot and I could not find the update within the actual ROM. So hopefully, if there is one, you guys can point that out in the comments. Although I believe a lot of custom ROMs don't actually have the update button within there, and you have to download it and sideload it. It's fairly standard for some fairly abstract kind of ROMs. However, I find that this is going to do a lot better than, of course, the original software, but there are a lot of other ROMs that won't get updates. AOKP is fairly popular. It's kind of abstract, but it's definitely fairly popular since it runs on Lineage. It's kind of based off of a very, very, very popular ROM. So it's all kind of encompassed into like a settings update. So it's Lineage in terms of its functionality and its feature set, but then you also get those added customization benefits that AOKP offers. And I really like the fact that it's all in this like third-party app. It's kind of like an app, but I believe it's just part of the settings. You can access it from either the app drawer or the settings shade, and it offers this like own GUI that you can change a bunch, like transparency. You can change a bunch of different things that are like part of the ROM that's baked in that you would kind of think, well, that's fairly standard. For example, and this is a good one, the notification shade can be turned to transparent, it can be blurred, you can have a different intensity of blur, a different quality of blur. It's very in-depth. And this ROM is definitely going to be for those of you who really want to customize your device. In conclusion, this has to be my new favorite ROM for Android. And I know I'm fairly new to this. I'm a noob when it comes to installing custom software. I've only done it a handful or 2 handfuls of times, let's say. And I really want to go and continue my journey into different ROMs, abstract ROMs, you know, like BlockOS and stuff I believe is coming out, and like a bunch of different stuff. But this one so far, out of Lineage, Cyanogen back in the day, AOSP and AOKP, this has to be my favorite so far. Anyway guys, that's it from me. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. This one's going to be a bit different in terms of audio because I'm of course shooting during the day. It's fairly loud outside. Hopefully you gained something from this. Hopefully you got some more information. Please leave comments or questions in the comment section below. Please do like, dislike, comment again, and subscribe if you're new around here to never miss a video like this one. I want to thank my patrons for your amazing continued support, and I recommend you guys go and check out my social media because it does help me out and we can start a conversation over there as well. I'm very active on Twitter and Instagram as always. I want to thank you guys so much for watching again. This has been a big one. I'll see you in the next video. Mine has been Ryan Thomas. Peace.